Spyro and Elora have officially been confirmed to be joining the Crash Team Rumble as playable characters. We're going to be looking at a potential stage, along with perhaps a new Spyro-themed minigame in party mode, and more. Let's talk about it! What's up guys, Canadian Guy A here. Out of the clear blue sky, the official Crash Bandicoot account has tweeted and confirmed that Spyro the Dragon and Elora will be joining Crash Team Rumble as playable heroes. Now, some of you may be shocked and surprised by all of this, and some of you may have already known that this was going to happen. Reason being is because we've actually talked about both Spyro and Elora being playable on this channel all the way back in early 2023. So if you want to stay up to date on all this kind of stuff as well, I would encourage you to subscribe. Now, let's take a look at that image that was shared on social media. Let's see what we can break down from this image and if it gives any hints that refers to the potential data mine that we know that's floating around. Right away, we can see Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Elora, and even Ripto flying out of a portal. Spyro the Dragon, of course, looks identical to his reignited model, which was to no one's shock. But when we look at Elora, we can actually see some minor differences. First thing is the nose, as her new nose is definitely bigger, but also the hard lines that originally contoured her face seem to be adjusted as well. Her hair seems to have a little bit less volume and kind of naturally flows downwards a bit more, and her eyes are a bit further apart. Overall, to me, it signals that there may have been some in-game adjustments to her model. Additionally, in the background with these oddly stiff-tailed sheep is a castle that looks similar to Charm Ridge and Toasty. So I decided to go and look at that data mine, see if there was anything to allude that we might get some kind of a castle level. Turns out there is. Again, let me give my typical warning. We are now entering data mined territory. Data mines are very much subject to change and are only used for reference in a video if something in the live environment refers to it in some way to give it some kind of confirmation. But even then, things can completely change. Also, some people consider them as spoilers, so if you want to avoid all of that, now would be the time to turn away. Looking at the castle once more, we can see that the buildings have blue pointed roofs. Now, when we rifle through the data mine, we actually come across this stage. As you can see, it is a large Spyro-esque castle with blue roofs. On the side, however, we can actually see orangey red roofs as well. When we look at Elora's backdrop, we can actually see the tips of an orange roof on one of these buildings. So I think it's safe to assume that this stage is likely going to be the level that we're going to see with Season 3. Now, while we are in the data mine, there's something else that I want to direct your attention to. The data mines also contain a number of minigame names and modes that are, well, not quite the names in the live environment. In fact, most of them are completely different or completely changed or not even in the game yet. For example, one of the game modes was called Clothesline and was labeled as a party game, but looking at the description of the badges that you get with that game, it's clearly Zap Trap, which wasn't a party game, but a limited time mode. Additionally, there were entries for a game mode called Freeze Tag, but some of the badges and announcer lines are actually used in the cooking minigame for party mode, meaning that there might be game modes that are completely changed or scrapped altogether. So again, I like to reiterate, we only use data mines if there is external evidence. We don't want to get people's hopes up for no reason or dashed for no reason. But with Spyro officially making his way to Rumble, if we look at the game modes, there's one that definitely screams Spyro, and that's Crystal Dragon, obviously referring to the dragons that Spyro saves in the very first game. Sadly, there's no description or badges describing what the game mode could play like. Now, before we leave the data mines, I want to point out one more thing. In Season 2, the theme of the entire season was party mode, so the battle pass was jam-packed with cosmetics that referenced different kinds of parties, from birthdays, graduations, siestas, and even pizza parties. Now, Season 3 is simply called All Fired Up, which means that the battle pass for Season 3 is likely going to reference Spyro and/or typical medieval fantasies. This can be further confirmed by the fact that in the music track section of the data mine, we can see Spyro 1's theme, Glimmer, and Skylos Badlands as playable music tracks. We also know that there are some skins that were played in the beta that have not shown up yet. For example, this is called Satyr Tana, and a satyr is used in a lot of fantasy settings and is from Greek mythology. So this is the season that we're likely going to see the skin show up. Now, before I go, I want to point out one more thing. The release date of this season is actually December 7th, 2023. Now, if you've been paying attention, December 7th is the same day as the Game Awards. Many Activision titles have been announced during this time, like Crash Team Racing and of course, Crash Team Rumble. This has led many to believe that alongside Spyro's dedicated Crash Team Rumble season, that a potential Spyro 4 could be announced at the show. Additionally, this tweet from the Game Awards has definitely fanned the fires of that theory a little bit. Now, I want to explore more of this theory, but many might be wondering, is there even a Spyro 4? Will it even happen? Well, if you want to learn more about that, I made a deep dive video breaking down all the evidence that's leading up to a potential Spyro title. You can check it out here. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye!